Welcome to today's webinar on managing your business during coronavirus, covering reporting, regulations, and tax. I'm Andy Harrison, and I'm from the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. Before we start, a couple of housekeeping points. There are controls at the bottom of your screen to pause the session and for adjusting video quality and sound. You can ask questions during this webinar by selecting the Q&A symbol on the right-hand side of your screen, typing your question in the Compose box, and then selecting Send. A recording of the webinar and links to useful information will be circulated to all participants later today. Next slide, please. The government is supporting businesses and their employees with a package of measures during this period of unprecedented disruption. The Coronavirus Business Support Hub brings together all government guidance on running your business during coronavirus. To visit the hub, search Business Support on gov.uk. You can use the Business Support Finder tool on gov.uk to see what support is available for you and your business. Answer 9 simple questions to receive a list of the support your business may be entitled to. As well as introducing new support packages, the government is introducing temporary changes to allow businesses under particular pressure from the impacts of coronavirus the flexibility to better manage their businesses. A range of business rules have been temporarily relaxed to make it easier for businesses to continue working. For more information, search rules that have been relaxed to help businesses during the coronavirus pandemic on gov.uk. Next slide, please. Today's webinar will help set out some of the ways that rules have been temporarily relaxed or revised to support businesses during this time of disruption. I'm delighted to be joined by a number of colleagues from across government to tell you more about changes to right-to-work checks, filing reports and accounts, and paying taxes. Before we address these areas in detail, I wanted to provide a short overview of some of the wider rule relaxations available to support business as part of the government's coronavirus economic response package. As I go through these announcements will appear in the webinar chat box that will contain links to the relevant government web pages. So if you open the chat box, you'll see these announcements. If you're an employer, a change to regulations will allow up to 4 weeks of unused leave to be carried into the next 2 leave years, easing the requirements on business to ensure that workers take the statutory amount of annual leave in any 1 year. The changes will ensure all employers affected by coronavirus have the flexibility to allow workers to carry over leave at a time when granting annual leave could leave them short-staffed. The government has also taken the decision to suspend enforcement of the gender pay gap deadlines for this reporting year 2019-2020. The decision means there will be no expectation on employers to report their data. The implementation of reforms to off-payroll working rules have also been delayed for 12 months. The reforms will now come in on the 6th of April 2021. To enable vital services to continue and frontline workers to get to work, all cars, vans and motorcycles which usually require an MOT test will be granted a 6-month exemption from needing a test from the 30th of March 2020. The Department for Transport has also put in place temporary changes in professional driver qualification requirements and driver's hours rules. Sector-specific changes have also been introduced. For example, planning rules have been relaxed so pubs and restaurants can operate as hot food takeaways. A temporary change to the rules around the destruction of spoiled beer, cider, wine or made wine have also been announced. New temporary measures will safeguard the UK High Street against aggressive debt recovery actions during the coronavirus pandemic. Statutory demands and winding up petitions issued to commercial tenants will be temporarily voided, and changes will be made to the use of commercial rent arrears recovery. And a revaluation of business rates will no longer take place in 2021 to help reduce uncertainty for firms affected by the impacts of coronavirus. The government is extending deadlines to some consultations and calls for evidence to give all stakeholders more time to submit their views and allow them to fully engage with consultations and the policy-making process in relation to various support measures. Visit the Business Support Hub on gov.uk for more information on managing your business during coronavirus, including advice for specific sectors. And to get the latest updates directly to your inbox, you can subscribe to the Coronavirus Business and Employers Bulletin.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Government understands that many businesses are facing increased cash flow issues as a result of pressures caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Because of coronavirus, you may be able to delay some tax payments without paying a penalty. I'm going to talk about the option to defer some VAT and self-assessment payments and the time to pay scheme, which is operated by HMRC. These are part of a range of measures available to businesses to help support them through the current financial challenges. So next slide, please. So we'll start with the VAT deferral. All UK VAT registered businesses can delay VAT payments due before the 30th of June 2020 and the 31st of March 2021. You don't need to tell HMRC that you're deferring your VAT payments for this period, and HMRC will not charge interest or penalties on any amount deferred. If you normally pay by direct debit, you should cancel your direct debit through your bank as soon as possible. VAT deferral is optional, and you can choose to make your payment at your usual time if you would prefer. Next slide, please. I'm not sure if the slide's moving for you. They seem to be for me. So we're on to the tax self-assessment deferral slide. You can delay your self-assessment payment on account due in July 2020 until 31st of January 2021. If you do choose to defer your self-assessment payment on account for 31st of July, you do not have to inform HMRC. If your payment on account is not received, HMRC will automatically treat it as a deferred payment, and you'll not be penalised for not paying on your usual date. Next slide, please. You may also be able to delay other tax payments through the time to pay scheme. Time to pay allows businesses to pay off their debt through instalments over a period of time. If you use the scheme, you can delay the first payment for up to 3 months. You might be eligible if you pay duties or tax to the UK government and have outstanding tax liabilities. You'll need to contact HMRC to discuss your situation, as time to pay arrangements are agreed on a case-by-case basis and are tailored to individual circumstances and liabilities. If you want to check whether you can access a time to pay arrangement, there are a few ways of getting in touch with HMRC. You can contact them through web chat. Alternatively, you can use their new dedicated COVID-19 helpline for advice and support by calling 0800 024 1222. Both of these services are available from Monday to Friday, 8 AM to 4 PM. You can find out more information about contacting HMRC about the time to pay scheme by searching on gov.uk for coronavirus helpline.
Thanks ever so much, Andrew. And finally, I'd like to turn to Kate, who'll pick up your questions on tax deferral and time to pay. Kate.
Thank you. Hi. So thank you again for the questions that have been coming in. The first one that we have, what will happen if we're unable to pay deferred VAT by the 31st of March 2021? Will HMRC impose backdated interest or penalties, and will time to pay be available? So if you choose to defer your VAT payment as a result of coronavirus, you must pay the VAT due on or before the 31st of March 2021. VAT payments that are due after the end of the deferral period will need to be paid as normal. Time to pay arrangements are available to all businesses and individuals who are in temporary financial distress as a result of coronavirus. So if you're struggling to pay your tax bill on time or experiencing any financial difficulties, you can contact the Time to Pay service. We've had a few questions come in around corporation tax. So will the existing tax deferral scheme and arrangements be extended to help with corporation tax? The tax deferral schemes do not apply to corporation tax. You must continue to pay corporation tax in line with existing rules. Again, if you're struggling to pay your tax bill on time, the HMRC Time to Pay is available to all businesses and individuals on a case-by-case basis and tailored to individual circumstances and liabilities. HMRC has set up the dedicated helpline to enable those eligible to get practical help and advice. And to give you that number again, it's 0800 024 1222. Another question that we've had in, can the government extend the VAT filing date? You'll still need to submit your VAT returns to HMRC on time. Again, around Time to Pay, so does Time to Pay apply to pay as you earn payments? Again, if you cannot pay your bill because of coronavirus, you should contact the dedicated helpline. The Time to Pay arrangements are agreed, as I said, on a case-by-case basis and are tailored to individual circumstances and liabilities. And the last one that we have for now, can you pay deferred VAT in instalments before the deadline? If you choose to defer your VAT payment as a result of coronavirus, you must pay the VAT due on or before 31st of March 2021. You can apply online to move monthly returns to improve your cash flow if you're in a repayment position. Search for the deferral of VAT payments due to coronavirus on gov.uk for more information on that.